It's another week and another brand new episode of the Granny Panty Podcast. I'm your host, RubyLynne. Please don't forget to like and subscribe this podcast. You can also hear us on Spotify and anywhere else podcasts are located. Today's guest is amazing. Another mature woman in the industry who is just making waves and doing great. I had the pleasure of recently meeting her, and I couldn't wait to hear her story and share it with you. So help me welcome Alexis Golden. Alexis, I am so excited to welcome you to the Granny Panty Podcast this week. Thanks for being on.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you so much for having me, first and foremost. Super excited about being here and just another opportunity to get out and get some information about me to my fans.
I love that. I'll let our audience know. I just met you at XBiz Miami in May. We were in the same session and you introduced yourself, and I'm so glad you did. First off, I just want to say you are absolutely stunning.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Just trying to keep up with you, girl. That's all.
I would have never guessed you were in your 50s.
Yes. I just turned 55. Oh. Yep.
Cool. Well, I know for me, I think that this decade is the best. The 50s have been the best for me so far. How do you feel about that?
I think that each decade definitely brings something different, obviously. And you're continually learning more and more about yourself. So by the time that you get into your 50s, you really have a great understanding of who you are and what you want and all the bullshit that you won't deal with. And
totally.
Yes, so I love that. I do love that.
Yeah. I think of it as like when I turned 50, my give a F's went away for the most part.
Yes, definitely. I let things roll off my back. I'm a pretty laid back person.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of been that way, for most of my 40s and now into my 50s.
Yeah.
When I was in my 20s and 30s, I was pretty intense. So it's nice to be able to not let opinions of others or things really, impact you in your day-to-day life. You can just kind of chill out and be happy.
Yeah, I agree.
I think people will have an opinion no matter what. So everybody can't love you. You don't love everyone. It's all good. Kumbaya.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I would like to start out by having you tell our viewers who might not know a lot about you. Like when I met you, I didn't realize you'd been in the industry for so long. So give us the elevator version or a little bit longer about how did you get into this industry? Because you didn't get in until you were 39, right?
Right. Yes. So prior to being in the adult industry, I was like a regular business person. I started my own business when I was 29, and I was climbing the corporate ladder, and I was having a great time doing it, very successful. And so I really honestly thought that was going to be my track for until I retired. And, kind of what we were just talking about, as you get older, things change for you, right? And your priorities change. And I really didn't feel like I wanted to continue down that path of corporate America. I was so tired of all the corporate politics. And even though I was really successful, I was just becoming less and less excited about doing my job and running my business. And it was a pretty big business. We were about 100 employees at one time.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I met my husband, we were swingers. So as swingers often do, we were always constantly filming ourselves, and we just kind of collected a whole bunch of footage over the course of time. And as part of one of the swinger parties that I was at, I met somebody who had their own website, and they really encouraged me. Like, you really should do it. You would love it. I was very apprehensive about it at first. I didn't know like how that would play out with my regular business. What if somebody found out? But, you know, I kind of threw caution to the wind, and I did anyway. So I put my website went up in 2007.
Okay.
And it just kept growing from there. And I was doing mainly just all my own production. And then I got a call to go out to LA and shoot for some of the big production companies there, and did that. But I was very, I was never full on into the pro world, as they call it. I did just enough to get my name out there and get some PR, but I was on the ledge of the first few people who really wanted to maintain control of their content and not give everything away to the big production companies. So I decided not to move to LA. I was not living there. I was not shooting full time. The majority of my content I own, and I always have. And I think being a business owner previously, that really helped me build my own business, build my own brand. And, you know, now everybody's doing it. Everybody has an OnlyFans, but this was like back in the day before that was even a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So let's see, when was that? 2007, I guess.
2007.
So there were live cam sites then.
There were.
Yeah. And then, so have you continued to shoot for studios, or are now you back to kind of full circle where you only produce your own collaborations for your own site?
So I haven't shot anything for a big studio in quite a few number of years. I keep saying that I'm going to go back and do it, and I'm sure that I will, definitely before I retire, but nothing is in the works right now.
Well, some studio needs to hire us both.
Yes.
You know, Gil's Gone Wild or something. We can just invent our own.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think that I get a lot of requests, especially from the sites that I've shot with before, and people who are just looking for me to get back there. And I'm not adverse to it. It's just I just haven't made it a priority.
Okay. That makes sense, though. I mean, I was kind of with you when I got into this business just 4.5 years ago. I was like, I want to own all my own stuff. You know, I don't want it. But then, you know, you get that itch. It's like, I just want to shoot for a big studio because then I've made it, right? So now, still producing your own content for OnlyFans. Do you also still have your own standalone website?
I do. Yeah. Yep. Going really strong. And so I really kind of segment what kind of content I put on OnlyFans and the content that I put on my website. So all my new stuff is going to be on my website. All my big full productions are going to be on there. And then like OnlyFans is generally smaller stuff, or maybe, you know, just things that I pull out my camera on my phone and shoot with.
Right. So a little more intimate look into your life than on OF. Good old OF.
Yes.
That's amazing. So what would you say your niche is, or what have you carved out as your niche over the years, and has that changed?
So I definitely a size queen. I'm known for taking like the big double digit. The bigger the better. Like,
you go, girl.
I'm not even going to beat around the bush there. Yes, I love it. So I'm known for that. I'm known for interracial, and a lot of girls, you know, that's not their thing, but for whatever reason, I just I had a really good partner with my husband who really like got me comfortable with it and really learned like how to enjoy it and not just tolerate it. I mean, I love it. It makes my teeth go numb. My whole face
Woo!
goes numb. Yes, 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 yes. I'm squirming right now. Just
I know.
thinking
She's
about
like, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about that. That's
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
I
So
I could see that niche, I mean, for you. Has it changed then? Are you playing into, owning your age more then as you get older?
I get a lot of younger fans.
Mhm.
So I don't know as if I make a conscious effort to be like, I'm older now than what I used to be.
Okay.
Because even when I was first starting out, I was already labeled a MILF, which
Right.
I'd never really felt like I was a MILF. So I'm just probably now getting comfortable with the fact that people call me that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't blame you. I think
Yeah.
I almost like passed MILF and went straight to GILF. But that's amazing. So, in your day-to-day life, are you on cam sites as well? Do you do live chat shows?
So I do it, but at a very limited amount. I schedule 2 days a month where I do live cams.
Okay.
I do that on Sex Panther. Hmm.
Okay.
And I know that there are cam girls out there who do it all the time.
Mhm.
That's just not me. I have a whole lot of other stuff going on, and I just don't feel like I could sit in front of my computer all the time.
Gotcha.
Um, but I do have my phone on, and fans could
Mhm.
call me on the phone and talk with me, or sext me, which is really fun. I really get into that. I really love hearing from fans and their wild fantasies and the things that they want
Yeah.
to talk about. And that's where I really get a lot of young guys too.
Mhm.
A lot of young guys have questions and really want to, I guess, be in a safe environment where they can obtain information from a more experienced woman
Right.
about what they might do or what they should do, or just live out a fantasy that they have about being with an older woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I so in some ways you've actually kind of carved out about 3 different niches.
I guess I haven't thought about it that way, but you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. So about how often do you shoot? Are you shooting new content for your sites every day? How or every week? How do you
Oh,
schedule that?
no, not every day. No. I, not with any like rigid schedule. I do it oftentimes in big spurts
Okay.
where if I'm traveling to a city and I know I'm going to be with some new people and new creators, then I'm going to schedule stuff like back to back to back several days in a row for a week.
Right.
And then I won't shoot again for, 3 or 4 weeks.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Hmm.
Well, something just came to mind. We skipped over it, so I want to rewind a minute. You
Okay.
had your corporate vanilla business, I assume. At what point did you decide that did you decide or did someone else decide that you're going to triple X? I mean, were you outed? How did you make that transition?
Okay. So, no, I was not outed. It was definitely a choice that I made on my own.
Mhm.
Um, I was feeling, so overwhelmed with the amount of work that I was always doing.
Mhm.
People think that when you own your own business that you don't really have to work that much, but I found myself working more than anybody in the
Oh, yeah.
company, and I just really didn't want that for myself anymore. In fact, my husband, he put a milk carton in the refrigerator with my picture on
Oh
it, and
my gosh.
I was like, I got it, because I was never home. I was
Mhm.
always at the office, and so I just didn't want that for my life anymore. I wanted
Right.
to be able to have the flexibility to take time off,
Mhm.
go someplace, do something, not have to be held accountable to anybody else other than myself. And those were really the big driving factors. I just wanted more control of my life.
Gotcha. How
Mhm.
long after built your website and were fully in the industry, how long did you
Mhm.
juggle both?
Um, it was probably about 4 years or
Oh,
so.
wow.
Yeah, until I was fully, completely out, until I hit the eject button and shut everything down.
Wow.
So I definitely teetered back and forth, but I wasn't doing the adult stuff quite as much as I am doing it now, because obviously that's all I have to do.
Right. Yeah. Oh gosh, you made it longer than me. It's 2.5 years and I'm like, well, I'm out of here.
It's hard, right? Yeah.
It was hard, except that my accountant, calls like this would have been like the full second tax year, whatever, and is like, well, your business and they didn't really that much know, what the business is like doubling what your social work salary is. So to me, I was like already burned out. So it was an easy decision, but yeah, it was funny because one of the reasons is I kept thinking, I'm working like 16-hour days. I'm like working 8 hours for corporate, then I get done and it's camming and editing and filming. Well, I still work the same amount of hours now.
Yeah, but you work for yourself and It's your choice. Yeah.
Exactly. For sure. So tell me about a time. I always like to ask this, especially folks that have been in it a while, is tell me about a time that something didn't go as planned. And this is on the XXX side. And what did you learn from it, or how did you recover?
Wow. Okay. Something that didn't go as planned. Well, stuff doesn't go as planned pretty much all the time, but let me think. So back to the niche. So this is always a big thing that people just don't understand about when you're on camera and you're doing is completely different than when you do it in your regular life, right?
Oh, yeah.
You have to be completely prepared. You have to have all the pipes cleaned out. You have to stop eating. And that was kind of my rule, and it is still my rule. Like, I don't eat so that I don't have anything in my digestive tract.
The plumbing has got to be squeaky clean.
Yes, exactly. But along with that, not eating, you can get really lightheaded.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what happened to me. So I was in the middle of a scene and I almost passed out.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, because of that. So lesson learned, like, don't go too long.
Yeah,
it's a delicate balance. Yes.
But you didn't end up in, the hospital or anything like crazy,
I did not, thankfully. No. But I did need to take a beat on it. Which is hard because then you kill the mood, especially when you're really into it. So
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the solution now? Just keep some gummy bears on the side to have just so your blood sugar stays up?
Yeah. Just little snacky type things that aren't gonna cause too much of a problem. Yeah.
Right. Oh gosh. Yeah. Good old.
I also had this is another funny story. I was doing my very first bondage scene.
Ooh.
And what's funny is I'm a very dominant personality, and I have been a dom, and that's just kind of like, if I'm doing anything like that, I'm the one in control. So I got hired to actually be a sub, which was completely new to me. And I was tied up from my arms and my legs from this, 20-foot ceiling, and I'm hanging down over this bed, like levitating. And I was really like, okay, I think I can get into this. This is kind of fun. Well, as I'm hanging there and the guy's nailing me, I get 2 Charlie horses in both of my legs at the same time. And if you've ever had a Charlie horse before, how much they hurt. And right in the middle of the scene, and I'm like, oh my God, let me down. And the poor guy who was filming with me thought that he obviously was doing something to me. And it hurt so bad I couldn't even get out or explain what was happening. Yeah, so that was a pretty memorable.
That sounds, was this just like a collaboration, or was this for a studio?
This is for a studio.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
And did you recover and then get hung back up?
Yes. And I was kind of embarrassed, but not, it was just like, I'm so sorry. I just completely ruined that scene and that we had to start over again. Yeah.
Woo. Yeah. It is tough. I'm very dominant too. And especially if I get a custom video order that's for, more sub type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard. That's hard sometimes.
Yep.
So
The
amazing.
whole crew and everybody that was there, like rigging everything up, was super great and made me feel really comfortable. But I'll tell you, that's probably one of the only scenes that I ever did as a sub. I tried again another time for my site, and they were like, "Okay, now pretend that you don't want this to happen," and I would forget in the middle of it because the sex was really good, and I'd be really into it. And the camera guy would be like, "No, you're not supposed to like this." I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
I can understand that. I recently had a situation in Miami where I shot, and I was supposed to be really dominant. And I discovered I have a hard time being mean to nice people.
Yes, yes.
I just talked about that on somebody else's podcast, but I don't, I'm dominant, but how dominant am I is the question, I guess.
Yeah, I understand. I struggle with that as well. People want you to humiliate them, but at what point do you
Right.
feel it's too much? Yeah.
Right. For sure. For sure. Oh, that's funny. If you could go back and give your 18 or 20-year-old Alexis self, what would you go back and tell yourself, knowing what you do now?
I would say probably do more. Do more upfront and bank as much content as you possibly can
Okay.
upfront. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think in the beginning I wasn't quite sure how much I really needed in terms of content, and
Gotcha.
that just comes with time and experience. I think that you understand what it takes to really have that flow of content be successful for you and to continue working for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Well,
you're
that
younger
makes
too, and
sense.
you have more energy when you're younger. So do all that stuff more then.
Yeah. So maybe your advice kind of sounds like to me, get into it earlier.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. I don't know if I would have been ready earlier.
Yeah.
I've always I've always been one of those people that's like more mature than their years, but I still don't think that walking into it at 20 something, my 20 something year old self and my 37-year-old self, completely different people.
Yeah.
So I'm always just like really amazed and in awe of people who start in the industry young and
Yeah.
just can really keep their head on their shoulders and are business people like yourself. So, yeah.
I didn't get in till I was 53.
What?
Yeah, no, I've
I
only
did
been in
not know that. Wow, I love you even more. That's amazing.
I'm 57. I'll be in a half. I'll be 58 at Christmas, but I didn't start until right before COVID, so only 4.5 years.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. And do you love it?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I quit my social work job, but and I was going through my head as you're telling me these stories. We have a lot in common because 17 years in the swing lifestyle, kink was to be watched. I wanted extra money to travel. Whoa, like somebody pay to watch me now. That's what So yeah, a lot of similarities.
I was thinking the same thing when you were speaking. I was going, okay, all right, yeah, we are a little similar there.
We are. Although we don't do much with the swinger lifestyle anymore. We still like go to the local meet and greets because we've known those people since 2009. So,
Right.
they're like friends. But yeah, once we got in the industry with the strict testing protocols and then, hindsight's 2020, I'm like, how did I never, it's just, you learn more, I guess. You learn more.
Yeah. Yeah. And I find there was up to a certain point where when I started to get recognized at parties,
Yeah.
then it became uncomfortable, and people were too much, and
Yeah.
so we stopped as well. And that, oh gosh, when I'd have to really think about what year that was, but yeah, we stopped the lifestyle as well.
I hear you and see you, because what happens is you become the conquest.
Yes.
Yep. That that just happened to me recently at
Uh-huh.
a meet and greet that we have, like I said, gone to, since 2009. That, yeah. Yeah, then you become the everybody wants, who's going to win the prize.
Yeah. And
Takes
it's
one
not
of
about the
you.
connection anymore. It's more about the celebrity of it.
Mhm. Exactly. Very interesting. Well, who has been the most important person that you've learned from or looked up to? Do you have a certain person that maybe, you know, was important to you throughout your career?
Yes. So the very first person I met in the industry happens to be a really good friend I met back in 2007 at, it wasn't XBiz, and I'm trying to think of the name of the convention, but that's irrelevant.
AVN?
No, in Hollywood,
Okay.
Florida,
Yeah.
at the Westin. I
Maybe it
can't
was
think of
Exotica.
It wasn't. It
Maybe
was
not.
even before that.
Yeah.
It'll come to me as we're talking. I went to a club, a local club, and sitting on the couch directly behind me, like here's their shoulder, my shoulder. I turn around, and then it's Sarah J. And I go, are you Sarah J? And this is really actually even before Sarah was even Sarah J. She was
Mhm.
really just getting um, her recognition that she has now. And she was like, yeah. And so I met her, and we just kind of clicked, and
Nice.
stayed friends ever since. So she has been really helpful in whenever I have questions
Mhm.
or need guidance or just want to have a different view on things,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is awesome. Yes, I've had her on my podcast and have met her a few times. We have the same
Mhm.
publicist, but she is quite the business person, and
She is. Yep.
she's really good at also expanding her business, not just in sex work or sex based. So
Hmm.
she's definitely an icon for sure.
Yeah.
That
And
is
she's a cool
amazing.
person, outside of the
Yeah.
industry and outside of all that.
Mhm.
She's just a super down to earth, really interesting, intelligent human.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing.
Hmm.
So now it's like, here's some things I want to know. How do you keep looking so beautiful at your age? Tell us. I want to know what your skincare routine. What are you doing, Alexis?
Takes a lot of money to look this young. No. that's that's kind of like a Dolly Partonism. I'm sure you heard her say. It takes a lot of money to look this cheap.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes. I've been a gym rat since I've been in high school. And I just really, that's where I get my downtime. I
Mhm.
keep my head on straight is in the gym. And I just can't imagine my life without, hitting the weights and
Mhm.
getting that getting that energy out. So yeah,
What's
definitely
your workout routine? Do you do more cardio or weights?
weights. Yeah. Yes. I like to
Good.
build the muscle. And I just started with a new coach. The first time I worked with a male coach, and he has been absolutely amazing, just kicking my ass. He has me on a booty building program right now.
Oh,
Yeah, you got to keep that thing high and tight. So
yeah.
yes, we love him for that. So lots of exercise. I love the beach. I'm in the water. I love to hit my board and get in the water and swim, and really anything outdoors. Just being active is my jam. Yeah.
Keeps you young. And are you in Florida?
I am. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you get all that nice weather year round.
Yes. Well, when you've been here long enough, even January and February gets cold. So,
I think some of the places we think of as being really hot are getting colder, like Vegas, snow in the winter. What?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, well,
That's
it
a
doesn't
little,
snow here in the winter, but you definitely have a sweatshirt on for sure.
yeah.
You're not on the beach with your bikini. I'm sure there are definitely tourists here that do that, but not me.
Right. Those of us coming from the Pacific Northwest, where it's 9 months of doom and gloom up here.
Yes, yes.
If we go
And the
anywhere that it's like
Canadians,
65,
you
it's summer.
you can always count on the Canadians to be in the water in January. Yeah, because to them it's
Absolutely.
like a heat wave.
That's true. Do you have any big projects you're working on? What's coming for you? Do you have anything exciting to tell us about?
Yes. So I have a DVD series that has been super popular. I had a distribution deal for brick and mortar stores.
Wow.
And I had a DVD series called FLP, which stands for Pussy.
Okay.
It's all anal DVD,
Woo!
and I'm working on number 4 right now. So
Wow.
that will be up and coming for everybody.
That's awesome. So are they able to buy these DVDs off your website as well?
Yes, they're
Okay.
DVDs or downloads, streaming on Hot Movies. If you go to, I have the easiest place to get all my stuff is alexisgoldenlinks.com, and
Okay.
you'll have everything is there where you can purchase my movies. All my authorized social media is there, so you know that's actually my account and not somebody's fake account.
Right.
Um, my website is there. All my goodies are there.
Cool. Well, you even jumped it for me to say, okay, where can we find you? When will this fourth DVD be out?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not, see, this is the nice thing about working for yourself. You don't have to put yourself on a tight timeline like that.
That's
I
right.
think I think I'm looking for 2 more really like stellar scenes.
Mhm.
I really like to have the best of the best on there, and so I'm still working. I'm still looking for that next guy who's got that huge I'm looking for with all the stamina that could give it to me really good. So
Yeah, okay. If there's any hot guys with the big D listening, get in touch with
yes,
Alexis.
yes.
Awesome. So, that is amazing. Any big trips planned this year? Any conventions? Are you going to Exoticas?
I am not. I am doing a bunch of travel, but I have not registered for any other conventions besides the
Mhm.
expos that we were at earlier today. So we'll see. Maybe AVN in January. Just
Mhm.
depends on what's going on. I
Yeah.
usually plan those things kind of last minute.
XBiz LA is amazing. I think it's the best one. So, just an
Mm-hmm.
FYI.
Are you going to be there?
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
we went the first time this year in January, and I told myself I will never miss it. It's just completely different from XBiz Miami. Miami's a big party and it's kind of off the
Sure.
hook and crazy. XBiz LA is a lot more business to business. So a lot more pro focused, I think.
Uh-huh.
So I
Yeah.
liked it.
I
Oh,
I kind of felt like the nerd in at Miami because I was all about the sessions. I
yeah.
don't think I really was like partying all that much. I went to the white party,
Hmm.
but for the most part I was there with my notepad and my glasses on trying to figure out
Yeah.
what is in the industry now and what are all the latest technologies that we can take advantage of. I am a little tech nerd.
Same. So then LA has, I don't want to say that XBiz Miami doesn't have great sessions. It's just so chaotic, I think, that our
Yeah.
brains are like, ah. So XBiz LA totally focused on sessions,
Huh.
not
Good to
parties.
know. Good
Yeah.
to know.
So
yeah,
you might have
so
to come out to the West.
Yeah, I might. So that's my background. I do all my own development. I'm a web developer. I used to teach programming.
Wow.
Yeah, so I do everything myself. I do all my, like literally when I say do all my own production, I literally do everything top to bottom.
Okay. What's your favorite editing program?
That's bad. That's a bad thing to ask me right now. I am trying to implement a new CMS system. And I purchased one that I'm just up to here with right now. I don't know. I may have to reevaluate that decision, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to go to XBiz Miami to find out, what else was out there. So,
yeah.
Do you have one that you're a favorite of?
I edit all my content on CapCut. It is the most amazing program. And I have like Final Cut Pro, and I spent like 3 years trying to figure that thing out. And it's like, forget it. Melrose Michaels said, why are you fighting it? Use CapCut. CapCut actually has more features than Final Cut does. Yeah.
CapCut.
Yeah, it has I should work for them as an ambassador, but yeah, like One Touch AI color grading, like, One Touch skin smoothing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, love it. Can't say enough about it. I use it on my phones and on my laptop.
Cool. I will
$8 a
definitely
month.
check that out.
What a deal.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so it is alexisgoldenlinks.com is everything Alexis.
Yeah.
That's where people can find you. Tell me what your social media handles are.
Okay. So on Twitter, I'm Alexis Golden XXX. On Instagram, I'm Alexis Golden, the number 4, real.
Okay.
And then, yep. And
awesome.
But all that is on my Alexis Golden Links page too. So if you can't remember what that is, you can always go there. And my website is just alexisgolden.com.
Awesome. Well, I have enjoyed getting to know you because all we had a chance was to say hi in
Very
Miami.
briefly, right? Yes.
But you are just amazing, and
Thank you.
Anybody in their 50s, I'm like, yes, let's rule this industry. Let's take it.
Let's do it. I mean, really, honestly, I'm sure you get this question. I get this all the time. Like, when are you going to retire?
Oh,
and
yeah.
My answer has always been when it stops being fun.
Yeah.
And it still is fun to me. I really enjoy meeting all of the people in the industry, interacting with the fans. I get the intellectual stimulation with the fact that I run everything and do everything. So I'm still learning, and I love that as a gadget girl. I love being in that mix. So when I stop really being interested in that, then I know it's time to stop.
Yeah, you're right. I get it. I get that all the time is like, how long you think you're going to do this? And I said, till they kick dirt on my box. I mean,
well, I think it's such a different time now where women are finally being recognized as still being sexual and sexually desirable. 60s. I mean, look at Cher, for Christ's sake.
I know, right?
And so if she can do it, why can't we? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on. I've had a ball getting to know you, and I think we should hang out more if I'm ever in Florida or you're out here.
We most certainly should. I would love that. And thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure being here.
You bet. Thanks, Alexis.